Like 3 years ago.
Oh, is it already time for another beer? Shit.
Yeah, Jesus.
I'm worried.
Do you know what time it is, man?
It's time to let's party. Do, 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 do.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
ah.
Oh, look at that.
It's for a
That's
tall
fuck.
boy. I got this at at the Who concert.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, this was only 3 years ago, and she was still, they were interviewing her at like 5 in the morning. This during the pandemic, so it was during lockdown. And even at 5 in the morning, and that was only 3 years ago, so she would have been 73. She still looked really good and young and sexy. And um, I wanted to find out, like, I don't imagine if that she would have taken the vaccine or the booster, but she might have. So it kind of, I wanted to know that because it kind of tied in with what the doctor said. He's the guy that he was interviewing, like so many PhDs and whatever, so lots of stuff. One of them was oncology, I guess. So he was treating cancer patients for a number of years. And one of the things he was treating them with, this mainly for melanoma, was uh, using a vaccine, but a more traditional vaccine for it. Uh, like, like the way vaccines used to be, you only get it once and then that's all you need.
Yeah.
Um, and just using like a deadened bacteria. It wasn't like fancy mRNA bullshit. So then it seemed to be working for melanoma the way that they were using it. Uh, and just one shot and it was staying away. And then he noticed like 15, 20 years later, suddenly all these patients, the cancer was coming back, and he's trying to figure out what the commonality is, the cause, and he's asking them all kinds of questions, like maybe there's a lot of stress in your life or blah blah blah, to see if they all had that kind of stuff. The one thing that they kept saying was, "Oh well, I got I'm up to date on I got my booster, the COVID vaccine booster," and then they all kept saying that, and he's like, so it's something that he warned about in the beginning because he studied the potential of what the new vaccine could do. And early on, he warned against getting a booster because, well, at least without checking people first to see if they still had T cells or whatever. I'm no expert, but I'm just paraphrasing.
Oh, you're humble.
Yeah. And so, yeah, without checking that first to see if they're still, active T cells, I think is what he said. Because if there were, there's no need to give a booster. And if you do that, he knows this, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up the immune system of this person, and then it's just gonna go downhill. So his contention was that's what happened with these people. They all got boosters, which were not needed, which are dangerous when you don't check first to see uh, how they've responded to the first one. And therefore, their immune systems went totally downhill, and the cancer came back. There you go. That's it.
That'll learn you. It
Yeah.
is.
I was wondering if that's what happened to Suzanne Summers.
Oh yeah.
But
Or I'm like still wondering what happened to Jamie Foxx. Because ever since he came back in the spotlight after he's been off. Like he doesn't. Whenever I
he's
see
weird.
pictures of him, it doesn't really look like him
Yeah.
anymore. It's like
Yeah, he
there's
looks
something
different.
missing.
Yeah.
Like he's empty. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And then
Something happened to him for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, even like he posted pictures of his fucking daughter's birthday or happy birthday, and it was just such a weird post because every picture of her is just her fucking head in her phone.
Oh yeah.
There was one picture, but you couldn't see her face, and she's holding a guitar, not playing it, just holding it. But every fucking phone, I'm really, you're saying happy birthday, and this is the best you got. There's a
Yeah.
serious disconnect there between you and your daughter, and you and reality, because those aren't cool pictures to post. They're not happy. So I made a video about it. Man, people just got fucking livid at me because everyone's so into celebrities and celebrities can do no wrong. And I said, there's a huge, horrible disconnect between him and his daughter, obviously. Get your fucking head out of your phone. Smile. Like, and I said, that's the world of celebrity, though. Like you work really hard to give your family everything, but it's really what you're giving them is a ton of absence, and you're not there. And so, yeah, they have all these things, and yeah, you can make it look all nice. But when I saw those pictures, I'm like, your dad's taking a picture, you never look up, and he thought that's the best he could post. But he also,
Well,
all the posts that he posts now are just like, I don't. He looks like him, but he just like not there anymore. I don't know. It's weird. It's
yeah, he did seem a little weird to me too. It might just be that he almost died and lost a bunch of weight and he's all fucked up for some reason.
yeah. I
The other side, what you're saying about the daughter, though, like you could be right. You might be bang on. I'm no expert, but there's another side to that because my daughters, who when they were little, just would fucking smile and act goofy and just just be the beautiful selves for pictures when they were little, and then at some point they stopped doing that when they got into be close to teenagers, I think, and then it just got worse. And, like they just didn't want to be in front of the picture anymore, or in front of the camera. And whenever you took a picture, they would hide. And then if the camera's not out, they just be themselves. Everything's
Yeah.
cool. And they just didn't want their picture taken. And kind of like my grandmother, she was like that. It was weird. She was very animated and goofy. And then you get the camera out and she's like, ah, and she fucking runs away. Yeah, they were, they became a lot like that. I was like, fuck, just fucking smile. You look so great. No, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've never, I don't know. I usually post I'll post old pictures too, like, I mean, it was just weird. Like, yeah, the kids have that, but then like I tell Anaya, I said, I'm gonna have to get a good picture of you. Can you smile for me? And she'll appease me, but you have to ask her.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to engage
Yeah.
her. And honestly, if I was gonna post like a fucking birthday thing, like happy birthday to my most beautiful daughter, that wouldn't be the photo. I'd pick an old photo then, and say,
Yeah.
hey, today she turns 15, and maybe show her a picture of when she was 12. And I would say, how kids are, they don't want to. I would kind of say something like that because I'm like, well, I'm just
Yeah.
I mean, I understand like it's the way it looks is that it's probably a daughter with another woman because I don't know his life. I don't know. He's probably got a few kids here and there. I imagine he's done well for himself and.
I think he's got some grown-up kids too. So.
Yeah, she's probably 16, 17. She was young. And so it's just like, I'm like, really? Those pictures give you joy? Because once you just, like, just fucking a bump on a fucking log, right? And I'm like,
This is
I'm
my
not
daughter.
posting that shit.
I drugged her for this.
Yeah.
She's
And
unresponsive.
it was just really weird, and he's been really weird. So we're back to the vaccine, and I think it was something, but I think a lot of people who are pro-vaccine and then have something happen, like anybody, you talk shit, and then you're held accountable, and sometimes people don't want to say I was oh man, I fucked up because you never really know what their motivation is at that level either, because it can't be money. Or it could be money. Maybe they're, everything's a facade, and everything's just smoke and mirrors. And some of these celebrities, they overspend. And so maybe, I don't really, know what their life is like, obviously, but it just seemed really,
Yeah.
I don't know, disconnected as a parent. As a parent, it bothered me. As a person, I don't give a fuck, but I'm just like, man. And then people are like, fuck you. And I'm like, fuck you. I was like, fuck, I have my opinion. Oh, they'll be like, why the fuck do you care? Mind your own fucking business. I go, hey, thanks for boosting my algorithm. It's like, if you make a comment, you comment back. It helps, So it's fucking.
Yeah.
I've been.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't give a shit. It's like, here
Yeah.
you are, you fuck blah blah blah. Here you are on my fucking page, ha ha ha. You're contributing to my
Why
algorithm.
do you care? Why do you care?
Yeah, mind
I
your
asked you
fucking
first.
mind your own business. I'm like, someone posting shit on social media, you fucking idiot. It's it's not like I went to his house and looked at pictures on the wall. So look at this shit. You fucking believe this guy? No, he posted it for everyone to fucking see. So it is everyone's fucking business. He wants it to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and it's funny,
Yeah.
like everyone on social media loves cameras, but as soon as you get on public, if you have a camera, what the fuck you doing taking my picture? But they'll, it's
Yeah.
fucking. But now I'm learning to be more jestful when people piss me off. I just say thank you. And
Yeah.
I mean, I got a ton of, I don't even read them. I can't read them. I can't read them all, but I do try to do a little, like I had that beer drinking guy. I reposted that guy. He's from Hamilton, eh?
What beer drinking
The
guy?
one who's like, two, how you get by a two? I'll four,
Oh yeah,
I'll
yeah,
60.
yeah.
That guy. So I reposted that. And I guess he's from Hamilton. And man, that video took off, but everyone loves him. He's like,
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. That's
he's like
it's
a
great. Yeah.
Canadian heritage moment, someone wrote. It's
I
like,
couldn't figure out if he was saying, oh, I'm pretty sure he was saying, well, I'll have 6. I think he's talking about per day. Because
yeah,
first they're talking about per
a
week.
week. And he goes, 2 week. That
What's
wouldn't
the
get you
guy?
through a day. He goes,
What would be the point? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But it's really kind of funny. I was going through because that video, I posted that like the day I sent it to you. And it's already like over 750,000 views. And so I got a lot of comments. I've been commenting, and it's funny. Everyone's cool except for the alcoholics who are no longer drinking. So they're very judgmental and like, ah, and I'm like, well, you're still an alcoholic, so don't be so judgy. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
like Judgy Judgerson. So I was like, fuck.
Judge Judgerson.
But they're the worst. They're like all the one guy goes 6, man, doesn't even get me home from work.
Yeah. I think I saw that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and then I just posted another one. It's an old one, but there's a guy sitting on the ground and he's drinking his beer, drinks it, and then throws it up in the cup, and then drinks it and throws it up in the cup. Have you seen that one?
No, I don't want to
And
see that one.
and the one he after the second drink, he's like, and then there's so much foam in there from him, so he does the whole, that, and then he's about to drink again. This girl comes and like, fuck, dude, knocks it out of his hand. And like, thank
Yeah.
God. But that one took off too. So people like watching beer videos. So
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
beer.
Beer.
Yeah. So cancer, and yeah, there's especially that vaccination. I mean, it still hasn't had enough time to fucking know anything. It's only been 3 years, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of shit coming out with that over the next while.
Yeah, and people will still defend it.
Oh, absolutely. People are just like, how they vote. They don't really think, they just do. They have their emotion. They don't have logic. Nobody wants to be wrong,
Yeah.
because then you have to, like, it's kind of like talking to someone about their religion, and,
Yeah.
you can put holes in it and all that stuff. But, it's like, if you do that and someone actually is responsive, then they have to question their whole belief system. And that's a big thing for someone to do, regardless of religion, politics, life. I mean, to question everything and to make a huge change like that is a lot of, it's just pride. People don't want to do it. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be, and also like, well, my dad, like people they loved led them the wrong way too, or something. So there's just so much to lose, but everything to
Yep.
gain, really, because that freedom of thought, like, being able to make informed opinions and without bias. Because if you're
Yeah.
super religious, you're going to be super biased. If you're super political, you're going to be super biased, or super party politics.
Yeah.
I got my voter card, and it proudly says no political affiliation. Everybody's fucking card should say that, and you just go vote based on the candidates, and they should never fucking tell you which party that candidate is with. It's just fucking Jim Smith, this is, you know, it's
Yeah. In
it's
fact, we should kill people who don't agree with us on that.
yeah. Well, that's the only way.
Yeah. It's the only way. If they don't agree with no political affiliation, they can't live.
Yeah.
That's it. Fuck
Or
them.
they have to get vaccinated for their
Yeah.
stupidity. There's a vaccine for that. It's I
Yeah.
don't know. They give it to people in prisons for the death penalty. So
Yep.
they should give that to people. Just like, hey, come get your stupid vaccine.
Yeah. It works. The stupid vaccine. I hear. But yeah, maybe that could be. It could be the not the stupid thing, but going back to the political affiliation. So it could be the no political affiliation political party.
Yeah, yeah. Like, oh man, have you seen that lady, Katie Porter? Think she's a senator in California, single mom of three. That fucking lady rocks.
I'm not sure.
I always thought she was a Democrat. Today I found out she's a Republican.
Yeah.
And not that it mattered. I just that's what I thought. Because certain things she did leaned in a way of the true Democrat of kind of a social taking care of everybody, the old Democrat kind of way.
Oh, the old Democrats. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
not a new. I didn't think so, but she's like the only Senate member who hasn't received PAC money, who hasn't accepted PAC money. She's the only one of 11 other senators that have not accepted money from lobbyists. And I'm like, that's where the whole
Wow.
problem lies. Like the fact that there's that PAC fund and lobbyists.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, that's just such a conflict of integrity. You
Yeah.
can have someone come in there and lobby for this bill. Well, that's so
Yeah.
wrong. And how that is ever was allowed just shows how fucked up our system is. So people really think
Yeah.
they're voting for something. It doesn't fucking matter. These lobbyists and stuff, they have so much money and people can be corrupted. It's very few that have integrity after a certain dollar amount, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, obviously, I mean, if we've got the biggest hedge fund manager in the world, BlackRock, who owns almost everything in the world, what do you think is going to happen in the world?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do what they say.
The one thing about a lot of this stuff, like the Klaus, the WEF saying, "Oh, you'll own nothing and like it."
Yeah.
I don't really see that happening because there's so many companies that make money off consumers, and if you stop consumerism the way it is now, like people like BlackRock, they stand to lose, right? Because now you change the whole economy, but now the WF and the UN they actually signed an agreement to push forward more quickly the 2030 agenda. So it's going to be interesting what happens. There's going to be a lot of pressure. I mean, I know you've probably seen a lot of the migrants in New York and stuff like that. Have you seen that crisis that's going on there right now?
No, I haven't.
Do you remember the Roosevelt Hotel in New York? Have you heard of it? It's no longer called the Roosevelt Hotel. They spray painted over Roosevelt. It's just the hotel. And it's actually, they're housing migrants there now. That's a migrant house.
Wow.
There's one guy that
Really?
I followed before all of this shit was going down. He just would walk around New York and show videos. He's a cool guy, very animated black guy, but he always just funny to listen to. And so he walks up to this hotel and they're like, "Get out of here." And they come and, "You can't record." He goes, "Fuck you, I can't record here. It's America, dum-dum." He's like, "This is a public sidewalk." And then the cops come over and they're kind of protecting the migrants. "Oh, he's just trying to bait you and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why don't you stop them? They're threatening him. This one guy with a tattoo on his neck, probably 21 years old. He goes, "Get off my property." And this guy's from fucking South America. He goes, "Your property?" None of these fucking, they're setting them up with PlayStations, fucking TVs, money per month. Some of these guys have debit cards that they say were given them by the UN. And the thing is, with a lot of these videos and things I've seen from this guy, I don't see a lot of women and kids. And it's just really strange. It's all like,
why? Why is this going on?
Exactly. Like, why? I mean, if you look at worst case scenario, it's like, okay, you're invading the country with a bunch of military age people, and all of a sudden you activate them. Supposedly,
Yeah.
the one guy, the reason he told them because they goes, I didn't get my deposit this month, and they were getting like I don't know what it was, $2,000 a month, $2,200 a month, and now he didn't
Yeah.
get his deposit, so he was talking to them it was another language, but he looked like he was honestly I thought he was African, but he was speaking like Portuguese. But they have on Lukeville, which you heard of Rocky Point, Arizona, Rocky Point in Mexico. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's like it's the beach for Arizona, so it's a 3 hour drive from Phoenix, and then you'll be on the Sea of Cortez in Mexico, and the town's actually called Puerto Penasco, and
Oh, I've heard of that.
yeah,
Yes.
so on the way there, you go through the Lukeville border. We went there a couple Thanksgivings ago. No big deal. Now that border is overrun with migrants. The Border Patrol has tents set up. It's full of men from Syria right now. There was 1,500 men from Syria, and the guy's videoing this, and they say, and then that that border is in a national park. It's the Organ
Yeah.
Pipe National Park, Organ Pipe Cactus National Park. So the national park said, "You're not allowed to take video here," and he's like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, I can." And so this
Yeah.
guy was fighting them, and then he went to another border in California that was actually closed for Mexicans and American civilians, but there's buses coming across all the time, those Border Patrol buses, and so it's
Yeah.
just like there's something going on that I've never seen before. I mean, I'm not that I've looked for it, but I mean, I've always seen the Texas stuff going on, people coming across the border, but I've never actually like Lukeville's a pretty common border, like a lot of Arizona. I mean, that town is supported by Americans, so it's a beautiful town, like huge resorts, high rises. Like I mean, they built it up pretty nice. Um,
Yeah.
but it's weird that all these people are coming from all over the world, and especially a lot of South Americans, but Syrians, Chinese, Indians.
Yeah.
It's and I can understand some people just trying to come over, but I mean, and usually men do it anyway because you don't bring women and children through those kind of environments.
Yep.
But the fact that there's just so many, and then the fact that in New York they're busting them in so much, then the Texas governor decided fuck this shit, and so he would put people on buses and he'd bus them to Kamala Harris's house, and he was dropping them off in front of her house.
No way.
Yeah, busloads. You can look it up. It's hilarious because he just but these poor people, these are human beings, right? And they're being used. Being used as political fucking pawn. Just like. But I
Yeah.
mean, not all these people are nefarious. Not all the people are part of the I don't know. I guess the conspiracy theory that we're going to be taken over from the inside. I don't think people are really smart if they really get on. They don't realize that we
These
have
are
more.
just people trying to get out of their
Yeah.
horrible situations where they
Yeah,
live.
and they're easily manipulated with cash, right? Why not? But they
Yeah.
don't realize, like, if they got activated, you got a fucking country. We have more guns than the rest of the world combined. It's like you're not going to go house to house and fuck with people here. It's
Yeah.
it's you might fuck with a couple people, a couple bleeding hearts until they realize, oh, I guess I really like these fucking gay pride people with their like, oh, we support, they don't like you. Hamas does not like gay people, you fucking idiot. They would slaughter you in a second. And here you are because you're just a blind follower and you just don't want, you're just against this thing without thinking of what you're saying, right? So
Yeah.
be educated. I can't be pro Palestine. I can't be pro Israel. I just be pro human, and say, hey, this needs to stop
So
for all casualties.
that was, I have to interject here. Well, I don't have to. I want to. Yeah. Even though I'm no expert, but I was having a meeting with Nick earlier, and we were at this place we go to. It's a cafe, and there's a group of four guys at the table next to us. They're all gay. They all talked. They all had the same voice, literally.
Yeah,
The-
it's
Their voice was all the same.
super.
It was super. You couldn't distinguish between one or the other when each one of them was talking. Anyway, so one of them said, I kept hearing them because they're quite loud. And one of them said, "So I got
Why
my
must you
Palestinian."
always be the center of attention? No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, something like that. He said, "So I got my Palestinian flag out," and I thought the same thing. What you were just saying. I'm like, yeah, maybe there probably are some really good like people who would like you, maybe, but definitely Hamas is not going to like you.
Yeah.
Like, uh, yeah, you're just they just kept saying a lot of like, um,
Stupid shit.
yeah, that's it, stupid shit.
I'm trying to find the phrase.
I was trying to phrase it. You found it. You found it. A lot of stupid shit.
It's
Just
it's
like
ignorant. It's
it
ignorance.
is ignorant. It's ignorant. It's it's wokeful shit, but it's also what do you call it? Virtue signaling.
Oh yeah. Social.
This one guy especially was just one virtue signal after another. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's like he had 20 virtues to say like in a short amount of time, just to you know
Yeah.
make sure your friends knew that he had all the right virtues. And then they talked about Suzanne Summers for quite a while, and Three's Company. It was super.
Yeah. When I worked when I was in Vancouver there, and I worked at the porn shop, and I mean, moving to Vancouver was my introduction to the gay community. Really, I mean, I never had any. I really don't give a fuck. Even as a kid, I never really. Oh fuck, no, I'm not ready. Jesus, I just got an text. Sorry. Now I'm gonna fucking
Not
edit that
ready.
shit out. I told her I'm busy. Jesus. Anyway, lost my train of thought. Oh, so yeah, so I have no opinion. I just like I'm still like, well, as long as you leave me alone, I'm not interested. But the whole fucking hey, you're so sweet. Oh, and I knew this. I actually saw them like turn it on and off because I worked with them, and
Yeah,
sometimes they would just talk normal, and then someone
yeah,
comes in, and then it would just go on because I'm like, you don't really talk like that, like
yeah.
it. Not everyone, not every. Why does every gay person have the same fucking sound? It's just a choice. You want to be more it's a feminine kind of take on
Yeah,
dialect or
it's
whatever, but it's just like
it's an affectation, and it's
yeah,
it's not only them. Obviously, there are certain anybody that belongs to a group of people that feel like they have to do that. They have to sound and look a certain way and say certain things.
yeah.
And like
There's a mold.
there's a mold, and I don't know if it's the majority of gay men. It's not all gay men that do that, but there's a hell of a lot around here that feel like they have to sound exactly like each other.
Yeah,
Um, and then you can go up to Surrey and find a lot of like kind of rednecky, kind of racist dudes who talk the same. Also, like
yeah,
their voices are almost indistinguishable, and the
yeah.
things that they say, and so same
Remember
kind of thing.
there was this one guy. So I worked at the store on. There was two stores on Granville, the two of those porno shops. One I worked at the one right across from the Granville Hotel. It was like kitty
Yeah,
corner from that. That one actually the roof caved in. I don't know if it's still there anymore. And then there was one a half a block away. It was the biggest store we had. So we talk to each other because I work graveyard, so we just call each other and just shoot the shit or whatever. And this one guy is like a headbanger, long hair, tall guy, rocker, and we're just talking one day, and he's like, "Hey, dude, and he talked like that. He's like, "Hey, dude, I got to tell you something." And he goes, "I'm gay." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, anyway." So he goes, "No, I'm gay." Like he wanted a reaction from me. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't really care. I mean, that is such an insignificant part of your life. I mean, it's such a small part of your sexual orientation. How about the rest of your fucking life? Okay,
yeah. Good for you. Yeah.
so I was like, yeah, okay. He goes, dude, I chug cock. Like he really wanted to get a reaction out of me, and I'm just like, I don't care. And
Don't need to
he
hear
just,
about it. That's great, but
yeah,
yeah.
do I have to like go and say, hey, I love blowjobs and I eat pussy and all these things? Like, does everyone need to know that I do that shit? Like,
Well, certain heterosexual guys do need
oh yeah.
to
Well,
say that for some
well,
reason,
and
but
I have a friend, fair weather friend kind of guy I was in the army with. And I just kind of had it with him finally the last day, just kind of because he's always he's just a horn dog, right? He just wants to fuck everything he can. And it's funny because the last time I saw him was in San Diego. He lives in Tucson now. And he's texting me, oh man, I miss you so much. I can't wait. You're so fucking funny. Good friend, brother, blah, blah, blah. And we went through a lot together, you know. And but I'm just like, okay, well, B had to go there that night. So I said, hey, I'll be in town. He's like, oh, great. It's going to be awesome. Well, then I get there and then he goes, oh, my friend is sick. She's really sick. So he can't come have a beer with me, right? I know he just
Yeah.
wants to fuck somebody, and I don't even know if it's a her because the last time I met him, he goes, "Oh, I just gotta let you know my girlfriend's in transition." I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck if you're gay, you know? It's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my girl, your girlfriend's not in transition. Your dude pretends to be a girl. He wears a fucking wig, has a dick, not a girl, dude. It's not a fucking girl. And so then whenever he says girl to me, I'm just like, because he still wants to be macho, you know. But
Yeah.
that guy would fucking, you could be planning the biggest trip in the world, but if he can get his dick wet, he'll do that. He's just such a fucking slimy piece of shit that way, right? Like one
Yeah.
time, my friend Steve and I, we drove all the way from here to fucking Vegas to go visit him after we got out of the army, and there was a couple people at his house or his apartment and us, and we were smoking weed, and then we're like, where the fuck did Dan go? And he just took off to go fucking bang some chick. Didn't tell us. Didn't fucking. I'm like, man, this guy is such a loser. So then the other was Friday or Thursday we went there. I took B because she didn't want to drive. That's the only reason I was really going is to help her driving. And then he does that, and I don't even text him back. I'm like, man, but there are so many guys because I mean the notches on the headboard, their egos are only boosted by their sexual fucking conquests, you know. And I'm like,
Right.
that's the chauvinistic fucking mentality of a lot of men, you know. And I'm so glad I
Yeah.
grew up. Like my mom's kind of a fucking cunt and shit, but I'm really glad she brought me up and not my dad or them together because he was a
Yeah.
chauvinist. He's a woman's place is in the kitchen. He's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I might have grown up with a little bit of that edge, like women, And so I grew up with a woman who abused by men, used by men, and so I really respected her in a sense that that's my mom. Don't fuck with women, treat them with respect. And so I'm very thankful that I was brought up by her, and I mean, I maybe tell her that someday, but you know, but she doesn't talk to me. She's scared of me, so I
Right.
don't know why. I'm not scary. So
Nah.
it's only scary because she has to face herself when she sees me, And it's like, but
Right.
I don't, you did what you did. I mean, it's like you were surviving too. You're a fucking kid raising a fucking baby,
Yeah.
Like I've acknowledged all the trouble she had, but she's still just so scared of me because she did so many horrible things. She just thinks I hate her guts, and I hate a lot of the things she did, but I don't hate her. I
Yeah.
mean, well, we saw her this summer, and I'm just, she creeps me out now. She just, I don't know her anymore, but I'm really glad that she raised me so I don't have that fucking conquest fucking attitude where, you know, I gotta fuck everything that fucking moves.
Right.
I always tell
Right.
people when they're like, ah, fuck this bitch, I fuck that. I'm like, dude, I'm into quality, not quantity. I mean,
Yeah.
you're fucking war pigs. I mean, I wouldn't be bragging about that, man. You know, it's like some of these guys would just fuck anything, and then there's the guys in the Marines that would fucking do the contest, do the fuck the ugliest chick, And I go, that is fucking so horrible. I said, why would you lower yourself to that? and that poor lady,
And the poor lady. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but really, but some of these women know because they don't care as long as they're getting fucked by Marines. Because they call them bag nasties and they're trying to hopefully get married and then get a
Yeah.
paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So
That's fucked
they
up.
set themselves up for that, but whoever their parents were set them up for that too, right? So it's like,
Yeah. It's generations of fucked up and stupid.
yeah,
Sad. Very
it's
sad.
yeah, it's nasty, and so I'm glad I've never been like that. Like even my friend, he's married, and when we get together and have a beer, and I really like him, we're good, we're really good friends, and but he talks about all the chicks he banged before, and I'm like, he goes, oh man, I'm like, and I never like feed it, because it's just like, okay, yeah. But every time we see each other, you got to talk. I go, you have a really great wife. I actually don't, I just don't acknowledge it. I don't say that in my head though. I'm like, you got a great wife. And he goes, don't get me wrong, and he'll say that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. So it's all in your head. You know that you're
You're
wrong.
the one talking.
And so you're wrong if you have to say, "Don't get me wrong," But I'm like, I'm not impressed. And he goes, "Oh, I miss the days when I could just go do this and that, blah blah blah." Well, then you shouldn't have got married because you shouldn't
Yeah,
really,
go do it. Go do it then.
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
piss. I'll be right back. Alexa, play some elevator music.
Here's a station you might like.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
I wish.
Let's all go to the
Just playing
lobby.
smooth jazz.
Get ourselves some snacks.
Alexa, volume up. You can keep singing. I'll be back.
I will too. I gotta tell B.
All right. Alexa, volume up.